Right, what's happening guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. So, this is an exciting day. We're down at BMW's headquarters and we have got behind me a car that I have been absolutely dying to get my hands on. It is the G80 M3 competition. Now, you know I love my F80, but I have been thinking recently, do you know, is it time to move it on? Is it time to get something else? And I was kind of thinking maybe one of these is the way to go. But this is the first time I've seen it in the flesh. I'm kind of thinking it's a face that you may have to learn to love, but I think the main thing is how this car drives. So I'm going to let you enjoy the view and then we'll get out in the car. Right guys, you've probably seen over on my Instagram that I've recently announced my partnership with Velo Global and McLaren, featuring in the Velo E-Series alongside some familiar faces. If you haven't heard of the Velo E-Series, then where have you been? Basically, Velo and McLaren have taken different celebs to the McLaren Technology Centre to see how they measure up in the world of esports, and there's 2 seasons out on Velo's global YouTube already. Yesterday over on the Velo Global YouTube, they released the first episode. Now, I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but I got to hang out with Els the Witch and a pretty special certain someone who I won't tell you who it is, but I'll give you a hint. He's been in a certain movie franchise which has really fast cars in it. Get it? This first episode that's out is a boot camp where we had different challenges, and again, I don't want to say too much, but I'll leave you with 2 words: crazy carts. This should be enough to make you want to watch it. You know how much I love those things. I had a great day down at the McLaren Technology Centre. It's one of those really important places where you see people scurrying around doing really important things, and then there's just me flying around on a crazy cart, laughing my head off, and just generally had a really fun day. Make sure you subscribe to the Velo Global YouTube channel and also their Instagram, Velo Global. I'll put all the information there for you. Episode 2 is coming out this week on Saturday, so keep your eyes peeled. Also, Velo is running a Beat Your Heroes competition, and you can get the details for that in the description of my video here, or you can go to veloeseries.com. But basically, you could be chosen to compete against me and Els on the 3rd of April in a virtual live stream race, and you could be taking home a brand new gaming console. So get yourselves entering, get involved. Can't wait to see you there.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Here we have it, the G80 M3 competition, finished in Brooklyn grey. It's kind of strange being stood in front of it because I've looked at so many pictures of this car on the internet, so to now finally see it in person, sat there right in front of me, I'm like, oh, so that's what those kidney grills actually look like in real life. I mean, I'm just going to give you a quick walk around of the car because this is my first review of it. It's kind of my initial reactions and thoughts on the car, and I will go more in depth with it when I meet up with somebody else that I'm thinking of doing a video with who's actually got one themselves, so we can have a bit more time with it. But for just sort of standing in front of the car and having my first driving reactions today, so what is my first reactions? Okay, the kidney grill. Let's just get it out of the way at the beginning of the video because I know that's what lots of people talk about. It's different. Yes, it is very much different. It does look a little bit beaverish, but I guess they're trying to push the design forwards and kind of make a car which is going into the 21st century. Every M car iteration has kind of grown on its predecessor. This one is a big step and it will take people a long while to adjust, but it's like an iPhone update. Everyone moans about it for the first sort of few months and then they get used to it. I think that's what's going to happen with this. It does look aggressive, I'll give it that. It's very wide. I mean, this car, as we'll talk about later, is wider, faster, heavier, all of the but this definitely looks massively wider when you're sort of looking at it compared to the F80. I really like the power dome bonnet. I kind of like this, you know. It just gives it, again, a more aggressive look. I would have liked to have seen an original power bulge in there, but again, we can't have everything that we want. I'm liking all of the carbon corners. This car has been fitted with optional extras, basically all the ones that you would need to make the M3, the G80 M3 look sick. This car has it, but you need to spend an extra 11k. It has the laser lights, these are optional extras. We also have the carbon exterior styling pack, Very, very nice. Coming round here, we have the wheels. These are 19-inch. You have 2 wheels and 2 different finishes, so you have 4 options basically. And also now you can get the brake calipers in 3 different colours as opposed to the original 2. So there's more customization available on this car. I mean, as I said, I think there's 16 standard colours, but then when you have the individual program, I think they said there's over 100 options you can have on this car, so you can really go to town on it if you got the cash. Coming round to the side here, lovely little carbon wing mirror casings. Let's just hope that these are fitted on rather nice and snug, so just in case they go walkies in the night. Thank you again to whoever did that. We have the black gloss black sills here coming out nice and wide. I do like the side profile of it and the way the line comes up the door. Now down to my bugbear with this car. Now the one thing I always enjoyed about my F80 was when you looked in the wing mirror, you can see these fat arches set out to the side, the way the rear door sort of cuts in and has this profile on the rear arch. I just don't know, lads, it's not wide enough. You know how I enjoy an Asbo car. This is getting a little bit streamlined for me. Now, I know it'll probably be more efficient and it's better and all the rest of it, but for me, I just really like a wide arch on a car, and this is not as wide as I was expecting. Don't know about this as well, little protector there. Not as keen. Like the privacy glass on the back, still a big fan. Again, very M performance with the carbon roof, looking lovely. I like this rear spoiler as well. The lines as it comes over the roof and through the spoiler is something that I've always liked. It's a little bit more aggressive. I need to find a new word because I'm saying that a lot when I'm talking about this car. Coming round to the rear, we have the only kind of 2 things that it shares with the G80 3 Series, which is the boot and the tail lights. I like it. Coming down here, we have the diffuser, which has the big quad exhaust pipes on there. They're again bigger again, they're 100mm this time. The diffuser's nice. I feel like they could have carried it around the side a little bit more. Now coming to the inside, now I think this was my biggest gripe with BMW in forever, is that the interiors just kind of never matured. They just aged, I felt, and they never really got better, whereas this one is a big upgrade. I mean, the seats, they are wicked. Let's have a look from the back here. These carbon seats are sick. The car, in comparison to the F80, is longer, which they've given a lot of the space to the interior cabin, and to be honest, I can really see it. Like, I don't have short legs and my chair is sat there. Loads of leg room in the back, very comfortable. The new seats are really cool, but again, they're a very expensive option. This here is dreamy. It kind of just sits with your legs really comfortably. So on this side, this is baller. The seats are just sick, to be fair. What I like about this, having had the Audis for a couple of weeks, we're not going to have that horrible fingerprint situation. We don't have the spaceship effect where everything has become a touchscreen. Still very BMW, buttons are buttons and wheels are wheels, and buttons do things, and it's all very nice and touch and tactile. It doesn't have that feeling of you feel like you're just scratching through screens all the time. So big yes from BMW for doing that. One thing that BMW did do is with their paddles here, you can see these are now finished in carbon. Now these are super cool. I really like this, and the way you have the M1 and M2 toggles on the wheel. The wheel is not massively updated from the old one, but do you know what, it'll do. I do like it. It is a comfortable car, and I like the way it's not too over fussy. At the end of the day, if you buy an M3 or you buy an M4, you like to drive, so it doesn't have to be this mental spaceship with every button in the world that can call a coffee for you. It is a driver focused car. So we have here under the bonnet the brand new S58 engine. This is all new for the M3. I mean, look at it. It's a big old lump. It's the latest version of their inline 6. It is turbocharged, of course. It is 510 brake and 650 Newton meters working all together with all of the new trick suspension and things like that throughout the car. You can see here, I mean, what they were talking about before is, you remember in the old F80 they had the carbon strut here, which I think is kind of missing. It makes the engine bay not look as pretty as it was before. I mean, in come eVenturi to change the intake systems and make them all nice and carbon, but this is a little bit ugly. I don't really like it, but anyway, the point is the car is heavier, so in order to transfer that weight into the suspension properly and make it a really nice driving experience, they've had to firm up all of this to make it structurally a little bit more rigid and therefore drive a bit better. I mean, it is purposeful, but a little bit like a climbing frame. I don't know, that's my personal preference. There is so much going on in the front end here. Because this is a higher revving engine, it needs a lot more cooling, so you've got all of your cooling abilities in the front end here. This whole bit is all cooling. DCT coolers, oil coolers, radiators. That's why they need the big kidney grills, guys. They just need this thing to get as much cold airflow into it as it possibly can for it to work as efficiently as possible. That's the sort of exterior overlook of the car. We should really just jump in and see what it drives like. That's what I'm most excited for. The looks, I'm kind of a 6 out of 10 on it. So I'm hoping that the driving experience is going to make me love it, make me want it, and make me want to buy it. Alrighty, so we are off the motorway and onto some more exciting roads than a straight line. The reason why I wanted to just go on the motorway for a minute was just to see how comfortable it is for when you're cruising around, because ultimately if you buy one of these you are going to be doing a bit of cruising about. Can confirm, very comfortable. But what did I expect? So let's talk about the engine in this thing. It is the S58 inline 6. It is the newest of the new. Again, we're never going to see big displacement engines in these cars ever again, as much as it all makes us very, very sad. But now this thing is a bit of a monster. It is obviously the new M twin power technology, so it's got 2 monoscroll turbos in there. So it's 650 newton meters of torque and 510 brake. I know I said that back to front. It's fine, we'll do it. And that gives it a really impressive sub 4 seconds 0 to 62. It is monstrously quick, as imagined. Definitely feels quicker than the F80. I know that's because it is, but you have that sort of inertia feeling within the car as well. It feels faster. The gearbox, again, it's the all singing, all dancing iteration of the ZF. All you need to know is that when you're flicking up and down the gears, it's less than 150 milliseconds between each gear change, so it's incredibly quick and concise. It is quick. The car feels, again, I keep saying that word, capable. When we have new cars, it is very difficult sometimes to pick flaws in them. My biggest flaw with a lot of cars these days is that they feel a little bit, dare I say it, soulless. I like cars that have a bit of drama when you're driving them, because I drive things that are analog all the time. I like something which kind of scares me a little bit. Scares me, a bit squiggly. When you're going up and down the gears, it really lets you know it's singing, it's shouting, it's burping, farting, it's you know, stepping a toe out over the line here and there. This is direct, concise. You can definitely tell there's a lot of new technology gone into this. I mean, whenever I drive these new cars, I'm always thinking to myself, the engineers, bless them, have spent so much time making this car as good as possible on a track. When you take it out on the road, I feel like it's a bit of a pony with a bridle on it. It really needs to be unleashed to experience all of that technology which is in it. I completely believe that if I was to take it on the track and be able to turn the traction control off, you could have a lot of fun. I've seen Chris Harris's clips of him skidding the car and it does look like a monster. Now this car is heavier, which sometimes can translate into a little bit more of a poor driving dynamic, but actually with the way this car is set up, with the more tensional rigidity in the front of it, it feels really, really sturdy. I would love to see what it feels like when you actually flick it into a corner, because it feels very nice underhand. Underhand? Does that make sense? Yeah, it's got a really nice balanced feel to it. With the steering is not too heavy, but it's also not too light. That was always my gripe with the Audis and the Quattro systems. It's a bit too light. You feel like you're just spinning the wheel in a waltzer, do you know? This feels like direct, precise. I get a really good feeling about this car. Now this is the rear wheel drive version. They're obviously going to be bringing out the X-Drive version, which is later on in the year. People get really upset about that, but actually having driven the M5 with the X-Drive system, where you can turn the bias entirely to the rear, that's 610 brake, trust me, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it because the car is absolutely mental. It's lighting up the tyres everywhere. Oh my goodness, I did the fattest rolling burnout in one of those M5s I've done in a very long time. Better than one I've done in my S15, I think. I mean, crazy. I would honestly want the rear wheel drive iteration of this car because I'm a semi-purist. I'm not a real purist because I don't count belt buckles and all that sort of stuff and check stickers. The thing about the M3, brakes, check them. Yeah, goodness me, very good stopping power, and these are just the standard brakes, they're not the carbon ceramics. I mean, would love the carbon ceramics. What is that beeping at? Not possible to mute. Oh, the car's actually telling me to shut up. I would like the carbon ceramics on the car, of course, who wouldn't? But it is a bit of a willy measuring exercise, because if you're not taking it out on track, you don't really need it. The standard brakes are extremely good. Everything is extremely good. I feel bad sometimes because I'm really trying hard to critique this car, but a lot of it is, I mean, this car, oh, is it, oh, that's why. I'm gestating with my hands and it's trying to tell me how to turn the volume down and stuff. Again, BMW with its clever MMI systems. I don't know what we're doing. This is the universal sign for turn it down, but that just looks awful. I'm just firing around a few corners here. Goodness me. Jesus Christ, actually. Yeah, that feels mad. So what are my thoughts on the G80 M3 competition? Well, it's not a yes, but it's also not a no. The car is undeniably fast, it's very precise, it's a huge step up in all the technology from the F80, but I just don't know if the looks have completely won me over just yet. I like it, but it's going to take a little bit longer for me to get to love it. For around the price point, it's about 75 grand, there's so many options out there, and as I said in the video, do you know what? I prefer a little bit more drama when I'm driving. This thing is on point. And it's very, I keep saying the word precise because that's exactly what it is. But maybe if I'm going to step out the F80, I might be going back a generation rather than forward a generation. Right guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourself, stay safe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you soon.